Good morning. Good morning. Julie McCoy here with McCoy Counseling in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I come to you from my back porch. It's nice and cool out here today. It's a beautiful spring day. Birds are chirping. Just trying to get some air before I start with clients this morning. And I just wanted to hop on here, first of all, and thank all the social workers that go to work every single day helping clients and trying to make the world a better place. March is National Social Work Month, and I just wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about that and give you all 5 things you didn't know about social workers. Okay, so the first one is that social work is not only a job title, but you can also be a social worker by education. And so what that means is sometimes you may be involved with a social worker through the Department for Health and Family Services. And those are the people who, do child abuse investigations and, may come into the home to make sure it's safe for children. And that's one type of social worker. Now, there's a social worker by education, and that means they have their bachelor's or their master's in social work. Okay, and so they're not one and the same. The ones who work at the Department for Community-Based Services do not necessarily have to have their education in social work. So that's the difference in those two. Okay. Second of all social workers that you work with should be licensed. So a bachelor's in social work should test to get their LSW, licensed social worker. If you have your master's in social work, you should have a CSW, certified social worker, or an LCSW, a licensed clinical social worker. If you are working with a social worker, they should all be licensed. You wouldn't go to a non-licensed doctor or a non-licensed accountant. So you shouldn't go to a non-licensed social worker either. That brings integrity to our profession, and those of us who are licensed are very proud of that. So keep that in mind when you're looking for a social worker. The third thing I have here is that we all use the NASW, National Association of Social Workers, Code of Ethics to guide our practice. And so that helps us make decisions when we have like ethical dilemmas, right? And so the Code of Ethics is the reason that we can't be friends with our clients, right? We want to make sure we have that boundary, make sure it stays professional. And the NASW tells us what to do when we're not really sure. So social workers use that to guide their practice. The next thing I have here is that just because a social worker says they can provide a certain technique or deal with a particular issue doesn't mean that they're necessarily certified or licensed to do that. So there are a lot of techniques that social workers as therapists use with their clients. One specifically is EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And so you can become certified in that, and that just gives you a higher level of education and experience in doing that. And so personally, I have completed EMDR training 1 and 2, which means I've gone to 2 full weekend trainings, and I've done the consultation hours. So I can do EMDR, but I'm not fully certified. And so that may or may not be important to you. That's something that you would have to look at and decide for yourself, but it's important to have the education to make that decision, right? And that's why I'm doing this video. It's important for you guys. And so social workers differ from other disciplines like counseling, for example, in that we are very strengths-based. And what I mean by that is a social worker may walk into your house and be helping you with some of your needs and say, oh, wow, you have a refrigerator. That's great. Let's work with that, right? Whereas maybe someone in another field or discipline of counseling may go in and say, oh, you don't have any milk, right? And so social workers really tend to pull from the strengths perspective in working with clients, whereas maybe other disciplines may look at the deficits in looking at where to start with clients. So that's everything you didn't know about a social worker in 5 minutes. And if you all have questions, please feel free to reach out to McCoy Counseling. Our phone number is 270-599-4004, or you can email us at mccoycounseling@gmail.com. Thanks so much, and hope you learned a lot. Have a great day.